Is Tanner Boser now a guy to start talking about? How far does Ciryl Gong have to go until he's fighting for a championship? Does Ciryl Gong, being a training partner of Ngannou, give him a leg up? Does that help? Does it hurt things? Heavyweight, I've never seen a division, or at least let me reword that. There is no current division more ripe for the taking than heavyweight. Guys don't want to fight Ngannou. OSP moved to heavyweight a week ago. OSP is as rough and tumble as they come. He's fought in John Jones. He's fought in everybody. OSP openly said, if I stay at heavyweight, I will never fight Francis Ngannou. I will stay in my lane. I know my place. End quote. I'm only sharing with you. Guys don't want to fight Francis. That creates an opportunity. Chris Cyborg wore those shoes for years. And if you were willing to do the job, you were the number one contender. And I'm seeing some of that with Francis. He's only got two dance partners, right? He's got Derek Lewis, as we know, and he's got Stipe coming back. Nobody else is even saying his name. Other guys don't have the courage to say what OSP said. They're just thinking it. So when you start to look at Gong, not for nothing, but we know that he wouldn't be scared of Francis. Now, if those two like each other and they're training partners, but I'm not trying to get something going. I am trying to get a dialogue going to prove a bigger point that there is major opportunity here right now. One thing that we do know about Ciryl Gong is he's not going to be afraid of Francis. He's his training partner. Are you afraid of your buddies? Are you afraid to play basketball against guys that you play basketball with every day? It's just one of those things. What does Gong have that anybody else wouldn't have, by the way? Oh, so-and-so's wonderful. Look at their beautiful record. Gong is undefeated. I believe 13-0. If I'm wrong, it's 14-0. Well, this guy's beaten a former world champion. Ciryl Gong beat a former world champion. I saw it. His name was Junior Dos Santos. Well, this guy's a big star. Gong is headlining UFCs on ESPN. Gong is a handsome guy. I don't know if he's an interesting guy. I'd like to see more interviews. I'd like to see him get out there a little bit. I saw his interaction with Junior Dos Santos in the ring. I found it interesting. When Junior grabs him, you guys remember that? Junior grabs him and turns him around, and he points up to the big screen to show him where that elbow went. And Gong kind of had one of these weird moments, and then he's getting interviewed by Anik. And Gong's like, yeah, maybe. He says, I hit him in the back of the head. Maybe I did. Next question. It was one of these things. I just found him to be interesting, but I'd like to see more. I'd like to see if he's a more interesting guy. I'd like to see him get his opportunity in that regard. Either way, do you have a better idea? I just told you Tanner's name. I just threw Ciryl's name out there. Do you have a better idea? Do we know when Stipe is going to be back? By example, there was talk as recently as a month ago that Stipe believes he might be fighting John Jones. John didn't say anything on the topic. Stipe's trying to put weight on. I mean, how many people? John is saying, I don't want anything to do with Francis. How many guys do we have to fight Francis? And there's two other guys in the heavyweight division, of which my point is going to fall flat because I don't know their name, but I've seen them. I've seen them both. Tanner Boser, I had three guys. Tanner was one of them, but there's two other guys that are floating around, real young guys, real rough guys, real up-and-coming guys. Got a wrestling background, got pretty good hands. Heavyweight is ripe for the taking. And they're going to have help right now. The promotion and the media and you guys, the fans, we're looking for somebody, right? We're looking for somebody. So many people think that when a star dies, when a star goes out, the whole sport's going to be here. Oh, Ronda retired. What are we going to do? Khabib's all done. What are we going to do? Like this is a real talk that people think. Fans don't go anywhere. They go somewhere else. A fan doesn't quit watching because Khabib's not here or Saint Pierre isn't here, by example. They just go to somebody else. They become somebody else's fans. Professional wrestlers hate to miss a date. They hate to miss a TV taping, right? A lot of them are injured or sick. We've heard some of these stories that aren't all pleasant. It's not all moonlight canoes, but they hate to miss a date because they understand this concept. The fans are still there. They're just going to go with somebody else. I need to be there to continue to provide the commodity, my end of the deal, which is entertainment. If I leave, it doesn't mean they leave. They go somewhere else. And it's always been a very basic concept that very few people understand. Many of the bigger stars in this sport think, well, I'll just take my ball and go home. Go right ahead. Not one fan is going with you. They're just going to go somewhere else. Then when you come back, what do? Now you got to compete with that guy. It's one of these things. I've seen media reporters come. And I can remember all of the times that MMA was done. Tito Ortiz had left, and he left like the same month that Randy Couture retired. And it was one of these deals where it's all over. Then you fast forward, right? Orange Arlovsky got built, Chuck Liddell emerged. But you fast forward, and Ronda Rousey was leaving at the same time that Conor McGregor was going to box Floyd, right? It was something like this. And both of these athletes were done. And I remember meaningful people who I respect within our community that are media members were asking this question of, Dave, what are you going to do? Your biggest stars are gone. The stars don't take anything with them. They leave it behind. It's a very different thing. It's very hard to have a whole bunch of stars at one time because that star, if you will, sucks all the air out of the room. You show up to a press conference with the George St. Pierre, nobody else gets any shine because George takes all the questions. It's not just because he's the biggest star, it's how he stays the star, but moreover, it's how the rest of them don't become stars. You got a big fight and George is there and he's a built-in mechanism, leave his ass in Montreal. That's how you run the press conference. The media still got to come, they still got to write articles, but now the fans get to see somebody else. But nobody ever thinks to do that. Hey, we got The Rock and we got Austin. Bring them both out. How about this? Put them on top of the bill at WrestleMania. Bring the rest of the card who none of us know about. So it's one of these things. How do you get somebody over? How do you make somebody big? The first thing, you don't make them share the stage with somebody bigger than them. Did you guys ever see Sting? It was like a Grammy Award show with something along these lines. Might have been the Grammys. Sting takes the stage and for reasons that I'm sure he regrets to this day, agrees to do a duet with P. Diddy. Sting takes the stage first, standing there like his old Sting self, singing with his little voice, and in comes P. Diddy in a white suit, dancing all over the stage, and about 4 minutes later, you look and you go, oh, hey, Sting's still out there. What's he doing there? He looked like a fool. If you agree to share the stage with somebody, it's game on.